comfortable.
Hello.
Keep your feet up.
Pardon me, sorry.
That's how we do it here on NostalgiaCon. Make yourself comfortable. There we go.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Good. We're great, man. How are you?
Awesome, doing great. Great to be here. And how have you been enjoying San Antonio so far?
It's incredible. I've loved it. I'm a morning walker just to get the steps in because I know I sit at a table for a long time, and that river walk, I was not expecting it, and I was like, I just could go for miles, and it's amazing. I was just telling the gang here that not every city is like that. You walk out the hotel and it's like, I don't think I should walk anywhere around here. I'll just stick to the room. And it's beautiful. I've loved it so far. Fabulous.
Looks incredible at night too. Everything's lit up. The Riverwalk's amazing. Yeah, it's beautiful, and everybody's been super sweet. So it was very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Texas.
Way to go. I haven't seen Victor Wembanyama yet. I just assumed I'd see him walking around, going to the CVS and getting really tall.
Yeah, there's absolutely that too. I'm sure you get your opportunity throughout the weekend.
I'll see him. Will he come to the con, maybe?
Maybe.
Probably.
Okay, good.
Okay, so we're gonna get started here with just a few questions, and like I said, then we're gonna have some time for guests, to answer questions from the audience. So, first thing that I want to ask you: when you auditioned, were you guys aware of kind of how big this was already?
Absolutely not. Not even close. Nowhere in a million years would I think that I would be here in San Antonio, almost 20 years after we recorded this show.
Don't say that.
Yeah,
It's true.
How many years is it?
I'm rounding up. Anyway, no. It was an audition, like many auditions, where we had very little information. There were maybe some pictures up on the wall when we went in, but we received, maybe 7 or 8 little speeches or lines of the character with a very brief description. And without a doubt, I don't remember this because it was so long ago, I definitely would have read for a lot of other parts in the show.
Okay.
Including Light, including, Matsuda, any of the young guys in the show, I would have read for sure.
Wow.
Because you were young then.
Because I was younger then.
Yes, exactly. There you go.
This is not natural. This is it's for a part.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So, absolutely not. This is the great gift of this moment and of this profession. Sometimes when these things happen.
That's awesome.
Now I knew very little about Death Note, but I knew enough to know that it was very popular in Japan.
Correct.
And when I started to look at the materials a little bit more closely, having worked on quite a bit of anime previously, I knew that this show was going to be popular when it hit North America. I just got that impression. So I was really happy when I actually got cast in it. But there's no way that I could predict the staying power that the show has.
Absolutely.
When it came out, it was popular. It's been popular kind of ever since, and then it just found this resurgence. Probably as a result of pandemic and it showing up on Netflix.
As a result of the live action movie, that's why.
That's what it is.
I'm sure that's what they did.
Yeah. But the idea that, we're talking about the show today like it just came out yesterday, when really it's closer to 15 years ago,
Right.
is pretty impressive. Notice how I rounded back down a little bit?
We're running down here, guys, okay, just for clarification.
Yeah, no idea. It was just another show. I auditioned for millions of things. I wasn't asked to audition for Ryuk. Some folks here that have probably come to my table have told the story that I just saw. These are just regular dudes. I would have read for Light's dad. Some of the other detectives probably not Light or L, because I was a little older than these guys. And when I showed up at the studio, I saw pictures like AJ set up on the wall, and I saw a picture of Ryuk and this demon. And I was like, why don't I have the sides so I can read for that guy too? So I just asked the director, Carl Williams, fabulous director who worked on that show, can I read for this creepy looking demon bad guy? And he's like, oh yeah, okay, you can read for him. Just take 5 minutes because we're on a schedule today. Here are the sides. 2 things I'm going to tell you. He's not the bad guy. He's not a demon. He's actually a death god. he's a little bit funny sometimes, but he's not the bad guy. And he has an interesting laugh. So just think about that and then come in. And I ended up booking that role and nobody else. So
Wow. That's impressive. I mean, very little preparation then.
Maybe that's why I had no time to think. Sometimes you get in your head.
Absolutely, that's kind of crazy.
And I only read for Misa.
Wow.
And I think it was like one of my first ADR auditions. Maybe. I don't know, I can't remember. But I do know that I only read for Misa, and I do know that Carl made a big deal out of the show, but I hadn't heard anything about the show. And just, you know, I went in, acted like my bratty little self.
Cosplay to Swaile.
And yeah, the rest is history.
Shannon, did you have to provide any like singing samples or anything like that for your audition? Did you have to do that?
No, I didn't. But I mean, she sings, and
You
know,
sing.
maybe, and I do sing. Maybe Carl knew that I sang. I don't believe I had to sing. I can't remember, but.
There you go. They were just so confident in your talents. And they're
It's
like,
true.
It's
I
fine.
think I got like a musical inflection to my voice. Maybe they just assumed I could sing.
Also, like at that time, that particular studio, we had done quite a bit of work with the studio on various other projects. So I imagine, aside from the scripts that you're reading for the audition, they know what you can do.
Right.
So they were probably, if they were narrowing things down and it was between Shannon and a couple other people,
And a
they're like,
non-singer.
oh, and she can sing. She's got pipes. Let's get her.
Sold.
She's perfect.
That is awesome. So how soon after the show comes out did you notice like, oh no, this is getting pretty big?
All right. I got invited to a convention shortly after the show came out,
Okay.
and I think I counted over 90 L cosplays.
Wow.
So that's when I knew that the show was pretty popular. Yeah, this is a stupid story, but so I got invited to this convention. I'm like, okay, cool. I got the show Death Note, so sweet. So I'm signing autographs, and it was very different back then. I would just kind of camp out at a table, and people would come up. It was all free. It was all fun. And somebody put a Death Note in front of me. And I'm like, yeah, nice, man. What do you want me to sign it? Okay. And I opened it up like, ooh, wait a sec. And then I had this like alarm bell go off in my head. Like anime news headline. A voice actor mysteriously disappears and perishes midway through the recording of a show called Death Note. So I'm like, oh, I can't do that. So I signed a fake name. I'm not a superstitious guy, but I'm also not an idiot. So,
Just in case.
Yeah, so I wrote like braggadocio Swaile, then crossed out a bunch of letters, so it kind of said Brad Swaile. And I did that, I continued to do that until we finished recording our last episode of Death Note. And then I'm like, okay,
Very
now I
smart.
can sign the book.
Free to die now.
I just didn't want to get recast. I would have been so pissed if I had died.
Absolutely. By the way, disclaimer, if I see anybody here writing something down on a notebook, you will be asked to leave, okay? Just telling you right now.
And we do call him braggadocio ever since then. It's no longer brag.
I walked right into that.
How about the rest of you? Where was your okay, this is big type of moment?
Honestly, I don't think I had any idea how many people this show resonated with until about a year and a half ago, when we got a call sort of out of the blue. Brian had been going to some conventions and connected us with someone who basically said, you guys need to come and meet all these people because this show is huge again, maybe, you know. So yeah, I had no clue. Back when we were making it, I wasn't a big anime fan. I'd seen Akira and a few, you know, like bigger features and things.
Studio
Ghibli stuff, but I knew that it was obviously a popular show because of the spin-offs, and then we ended up doing the dub for the live-action Japanese films when they were dubbed into thing. But it was a different time, right? There was no socials. There was no, like, viral was not a thing.
Did you get approached at any like Battlestar conventions with someone who knew you were a Death Note voice as well?
I was on a show called Battlestar Galactica that was like a live action show, a sci-fi show. So I would occasionally go to conventions for that, like a few. And I think once someone approached the table in an L cosplay, and I was like, whoa, that's so cool. How random. But it was the exception, not the rule. So now to come, to go all over America and see a whole army of L's is an incredible
Meanwhile,
phenomenon.
Brad's at another con in a different city, counting 90 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So there would have been 93 if that guy had been in the show.
So would have showed up.
No idea, no, that it was going to be. I had worked in lots of stuff since the mid '90s. I knew when I was going to a few conventions, not many, that Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, the OG voice of that, was pretty huge.
Oh, yeah.
So people, but some people would come to the table as Death Note fans as well, and I always thought that was cool. It was sort of the second most popular thing that I might have worked on,
Right.
but it was nowhere near the amount of people I talked to about Dragon Ball Z. And I think the resurgence, like I said, recently since it dropped on Netflix during COVID or whatever it was,
Right.
it's just had another boost in popularity. And it's surprised us all how relevant the show still is and how interested the fandom and the anime fandom is in it and our dubbed version of it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think so. My personal experience was that a lot of my friends are like, you know what, Death Note is the first anime that I've gone and looked up, like who voiced everything, because it was done so good. It was so great. So a testament to your hard work, you know, and your talent, of course.
Thank
so,
you.
know, congrats on that, and thank you for being here. So, we are gonna open up to questions from the audience, guys. There is a mic set up on my right-hand side, your left-hand side right there. So, if you got a question, please go ahead and line up.
Go for it.
If the line gets long, we'll try and rapid fire through as many as you can. So try to stick to one question.
Yeah, let's
Sometimes
try-
you get, I have 4 questions, and it gets hard to get to everybody.
Yeah, let's try to do one question per person, guys, because we do have a short amount of time here. So, go ahead.
Yes. So, how does it feel knowing or hearing yourself that your lines from the show trend on TikTok every now and then, especially lights, but also. Yeah.
What did I do? Well, I did some things, I guess, and stuff. Yeah. Any lines in particular?
This may be the first time in my life that I've been inclined to
Hit a woman?
woman.
Oh, no, that's great. So it's like that. Yeah.
That's why you're trending, Brad. Uh-oh.
That's what you want to go viral for.
I'm gonna get canceled very soon. Yeah.
The one line we didn't want to hear trending for.
Why can't it just be the potato chip line? Come on.
Yeah. If it is trending, his name's Braggadocio Swaile.
Go ahead and tag him on everyone. So,
Well, why can't we get L on Nailed It or something? That would be a good match, eh?
yeah, I like that. Okay. Hello there, and remember, guys, we're only doing one question at a time.
Hi. Good to see most of y'all again, like Brad and Brian, since the other panel. I just want to say 2 things. First, I just want to say that since it's my first time meeting most of you, like Julian, I know you from... Sorry, I kind of have time pronouncing the name. I know you from another show called Smallville. And I'm Brad, well, the one who plays the protagonist, the human form. And I know you and Shannon are boyfriend, girlfriend in the show, which I just started watching it. I wasn't sure if you were aware of that, but my question is, if you guys ever watched the live action movie with William Dafoe and all that, what are your thoughts about it, about the cast? Like, do you ever like watch it, be like, did I really say that or do that? Or like, well, this is awesome.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the
The
feature.
Netflix feature?
No, I have not.
I made it through 20 minutes of the
There you go.
live action Netflix show, and then I just had to turn it off.
I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list. But the reason I haven't watched it yet is because every time I tell somebody, "Oh, I still got to see that," they say, "Don't." Wow. So like, now I really want to watch it. But one thing I did hear is that Willem Dafoe does an incredible job as Ryuk, which is not a surprise. He's incredible. But also, like, the cast is pretty good. So it seemed like they just missed the mark on what they were trying to accomplish in a short period of time. You can't condense 37 episodes of an anime series into a one short full-length feature.
Absolutely.
But to your question before, how do you know that the show is popular and made it? there's a musical. Have you guys heard about Death Note the musical? So that's something I'm looking forward to, and I'm hoping that it's going to be popular enough that it'll come over here to North America.
Yeah, hopefully. And it's kind of weird, right? Because my understanding is it was actually originally written in English and then translated to Japanese, and exactly, in Korean, and then somehow the English just never made it out.
I think it has. I missed it by a week in London. I was in London on a trip last fall, and I had missed it by, I think, 4 days. It had just closed before I got there, so I was really looking forward to. And that was after they'd extended it a week. So it's the English version is out there, and I'm sure it's going to land in North America at some point.
Yeah,
right away across America, it'll be here before you know it.
And I think you're right. Like, I think I heard also that it was kind of completed in English, then translated into Japanese and Korean, and there was, you know, performances over there. And then ultimately, I remember hearing that there was going to be one in England. And somebody told me kind of recently that maybe it was going to come to New York at some point, but I'm not sure if that's true or not. Do not trust me as a source on that.
They tell us nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead with your question.
Hi. So, what is unthinking of most
Pause for effect.
I love that Misa is so fearless in her love.
That's a good one.
Brian liked that.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely good. It's gonna be hard to follow up, I'm not gonna lie.
I just love that she's so fearlessly herself and loves light no matter what. I also like her fashion sense. You know?
There you go. There you go.
I could say the same thing about L, because he is also fearlessly himself. Not sure about the fashion, but it's comfortable.
Yeah.
No, I mean, L is a character unlike any other. I feel privileged to have voiced him, and that people find my voice to be a good match for him and all his uniqueness. I think I probably appreciate just the singular way that his brain works and sees the world.
I like the young Justin Bieber haircut.
Yeah. I like the little heart earring. Come on, isn't that sweet?
Yes.
I love that Ryuk is he's kind of a sweetheart, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, I find him to be
That's a matter of opinion.
lovable in a way. But it was very fun to play. I play a lot of antagonists very often. I don't play the hero or protagonist as much, probably too much gravel and stuff in my voice to sound like the hero. I get a lot of bad guys, which I love, but I really enjoyed playing a character that was not the protagonist or the antagonist. He was there to view, he was bored, and he just wanted to watch the world burn a little bit and see what was going to happen. And but also there was aspects of a lot of fun that he had while he was there. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The ultimate motivation. Boredom.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, thank you for that. Go ahead with your question.
Hi everybody, thanks for coming to San Antonio. It's great to have you guys here. So I'm one of the OGs. I had the joy of watching it on cable television with commercials. My family had recently upgraded from dial-up internet, so I had to go to the computer to look up the voice actor names. Like it was a lot of fun to have the show with me for that long. My question is for Brad. Most of the roles I know you from is from the heroes and the guys that are, yeah, let's go get it. But now you had a choice to, or a chance I should say, to perform as this bad guy. Can you share some of the experience being able to play a villain?
Bad guy? Yeah. I mean, there's worse guys in the show, Nier. No, it's really cool, and you're absolutely right. Like most of, especially in anime, a lot of the characters that I did were the young, reluctant heroes. Now, Light starts out that way in the series, but the audition I had for Death Note was one of the coolest auditions I ever had. Now, I don't remember reading for anybody else. I don't know, I must have. But, or, you know, because they knew me so well at the studio, they might have just been like, well, if we're not gonna cast him as Light, we know what he can do, we'll just give him, you know, somebody else. But the one page of dialogue that we had for the audition was kind of the most roller coastery ride of an audition I'd ever had, where the first couple lines, mild-mannered Japanese student, tick, 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 maniacal laughter. So right away, it's a character, especially for somebody like me who didn't really get to play many bad guys. I just wanted to sink my teeth into that. And I have a feeling that it was probably the last couple lines in that audition side that really helped me get the role, because I told them, I'm like, this might get loud and it's gonna get weird. And then I just went off. And it turns out that I had like a lot of deep-seated emotional problems that came out in the booth as basically free therapy, and it was essentially kind of cathartic to play this role. So yeah, it's kind of the role of a lifetime. So yeah, kind of awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question. Hi, how you doing?
So I'm kind of hyper fixated on voice acting. I think it's like such an incredible talent. I kind of dive it a lot. And one thing I tend to do is I tend to recognize people for less obscure roles, like Alessandro. The first thing I think of when I think of you is Makama from the Bionicle movies.
Yeah, cool. That's cool.
So my question is, what's the most obscure role you've been recognized for?
That's a good question.
That's a good question to recognize for. One of the wonderful things about the business that we're in is we're rarely recognized vocally. I think that's it. Yeah, I don't know vocally if someone sort of heard me somewhere speaking and recognized me. Is that what you mean? Like someone heard my voice and thought I was a voice actor, or comes up to a table and wants to talk about a very specific role?
Let's talk about a very specific role.
Yeah, that's tough.
I know one. So, in the early aughts, I did a series of Barbie DVDs where I voiced a variety of ethnic Ken dolls. And also did the singing for them because a lot of them were musical. Now, you talk about like not expecting to be still talking about that. I said that about Death Note. That goes like exponentially for the Barbie, the Island Princess, and Princess and the Pauper. The very first time, I love it. The very first time I came to a con a year and a half ago, I had sort of exclusively, Death Note prints to be signed, and this woman came up, and she was in full sort of cosplay as some sort of princess. I didn't know what she was, and she was shaking, and she had a DVD of Barbie, and I hadn't even seen the DVD for 20 years. Anyway, it remains one of the most surprising and delightful fan crossovers that so many, mostly girls, but not exclusively, obsessed about those Barbie DVDs and knew every word to every song. Bless you. And then got a little older and maybe started exploring darker things in middle school and found their way to Death Note, but did not make the connection, the voice until much later, but have now, I guess, realized that I am the same person, and I've been voice stalking them all their lives.
I got plenty of weird, obscure shows that come up from time to time. Just yesterday, I was talking with somebody about Kimba the White Lion, which is something that Lion King from Disney is based on, and some people think it's the other way around, but interesting. My very first anime series was a show called Ranma 1/2, which at the time, crazy popular, but very few people know about it now. So if somebody mentions that, I get very excited. And every once in a while, somebody will talk about my very first cartoon role, which was a show called My Little Ponytails. I played a character named Ace, who was kind of like the badass pony, as badass as ponies get anyway. So I don't know, I have lots of strange little cartoons that I worked on that every once in a while somebody will, well, even, I think the website for this particular convention has a picture of a character right on the website from a show called Inuyasha. You guys familiar with Inuyasha? Pretty popular, very huge show. I did Prince Nobunaga in one episode. And still, because it's associated with Inuyasha, there are people that'll bring that one up. I'm like, yeah, I did one episode. In that one episode, I was kind of like outshined by a monkey. But still, it's on my resume.
still counts.
Absolutely. I've done a lot of stuff over the years, so it's I'm always surprised. I think the one that I'm always happily surprised about, because I had so much fun doing it, but it didn't get sort of as much exposure here in North America. The books did, but the series and the DVDs we didn't as much. Has anyone ever seen the book series Geronimo Stilton? Yeah, lots of some preteen and actually maybe more like 6, 7, 8-year-olds would read those books, big pictures. I played Geronimo Stilton in about a 52 episode series that was whenever someone cosplayed as Geronimo a couple of conventions ago, and I was blown away to see that I'd never in my life seen that cosplay, and that one was pretty exciting because the show was so much fun to work on.
Going up, is he like a detective mouse?
Yeah, he's not actually a detective, but he works at a newspaper, so he's more of a reporter, but detective work is, he finds his stories.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. Okay, guys, so we got time for just one more question. Right?
Wow.
So
Rapid fire.
Please.
Hey guys, thank you so much for being here today. My question is for Brad. So the final episode of Death Note, they basically have whenever light reveals himself to be Peter to the task force. It's a very uncomfortable scene, and it's always stayed with me.
You're welcome.
Can you explain what it was like filming that?
No, it's all a blur. I blacked it out. No, it was great. It was kind of like the big evolution of 36 and a half episodes that all kind of happened on this, the end of 37 episodes. Now, technically, if I'm watching the show back, I usually stop at 36 because then it's a perfect series that way, right? But not entirely perfect because there is that 37th episode. But no, it was, I don't know. One luxury we have with working on anime series is you have these incredible visuals in front of you when you're recording, and they only bring in one actor at a time for doing the dubbing of these shows because it's just more efficient that way. So really it's just me alone in a booth. There's a director and an engineer kind of behind a wall somewhere, and I just get to kind of watch the cartoon and read my lines and just go as nuts as they're willing to let me go. And luckily on this series we had an incredible director, and we had really professional engineers that could manage my levels as I'm writhing in pain and swimming in blood and screaming at everybody and getting riddled full of holes. And I know I was a little bit method for that last episode. I watched the original Japanese probably 4 times because I was worried about the laugh in that whole scene. So I wanted to be familiar enough with that laugh that I could kind of like pay homage to it, but kind of do my own thing. And then after that scene kind of plays out, he's wandering through the neighborhood with more holes than he had going in. I prepared by bringing, this is stupid. I wanted it to sound disgusting, so I brought chocolate milk and like a fruit punch, and I would like take a slug of both of those and then go and start walking down the street, whatever. And we did it, and it was disgusting and wonderful. And then I had to go and do some pickups for another episode, and they said, Brad, that whole thing that you did with walking with all the blood coming out and stuff, we need to get that again because it's just too disgusting. Thank you.
Nailed it.
So yeah, and I even rewrote some of the lines in that particular episode, and they let me get away with it because I was dialed in.
Wow. Amazing.
Thank you so much for your question, guys. Let's give a big round of applause to our guests here. Thank you so much. Make sure that you go and stop by, see them over here on the side of the show. We got also a wrestling match coming up in about 10 minutes. That is the ring stage over there, so if you guys are interested in that. So once again, give it up for our guests here from Death Note. Thanks, everyone.
Sorry, my